Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. I am so happy you're here today because I have a very special story for you. It's a heartwarming tale about courage, belief, and the power of trying. Today's story is called The Little Bird That Could. So, let's get comfortable, relax, and begin. Deep within a vast, green forest, teeming with ancient trees and the sweet songs of nature, lived a tiny bird named Pip. This forest was home to countless birds of all shapes and sizes. There were majestic eagles that soared on the wind currents, graceful swallows that danced in the sky, and wise old owls that watched over the forest at night. Pip lived with his family in a cozy nest, high up in the branches of a mighty oak tree. From this vantage point, he could see everything. He watched his brothers, sisters, and all the other young birds as they learned to fly. They would leap from the branches, their wings catching the air as they swooped and glided with joyful chirps. But Pip was different. While the others embraced the sky, Pip was held back by a quiet fear that fluttered in his chest, much like his own tiny wings. He would stand at the edge of the nest, peering down at the ground so far below, and his heart would beat like a drum. "I'm too small," he would whisper to his mother, his voice barely audible over the rustling leaves. "My wings are not strong enough. I'll fall." His mother would nuzzle him gently and say, "Oh, my dear Pip, your size has nothing to do with the strength in your heart. Flying begins, not in the wings, but in the mind." But Pip couldn't shake the feeling of dread. He watched his friends explore the world from above, discovering juicy berries on the highest branches, and splashing in cool mountain streams, while he remained in the familiar comfort of the nest. One afternoon, the sunny sky began to darken. Ominous gray clouds rolled in, and the wind, which was usually a gentle breeze, started to howl through the trees. A great storm was coming. The forest creatures scurried for shelter. The birds held tightly to their nests. But the wind grew stronger and stronger, tearing at the leaves and branches. Suddenly, a ferocious gust ripped through the oak tree, and with a terrifying crack, the branch holding Pip's nest snapped. The nest, with Pip and his family inside, was tossed into the air. They tumbled through the sky, and Pip's mother cried out, "Fly, my children, fly." His siblings instinctively spread their wings and caught the wind, circling in the turbulent air. But Pip was paralyzed with fear. He was falling. "I can't do it," he chirped in panic. His mother flew close, her eyes filled with love and urgency. "You must try, my child," she called out over the storm. "It's the only way. Forget the fear and just believe in yourself. I know you can do it." Her words echoed in Pip's head. "Believe in yourself." He looked at his mother, soaring beside him, her presence a beacon of hope in the chaos. Taking a deep, shaky breath, Pip closed his eyes and did the scariest thing he had ever done. He stretched out his tiny wings. At first, he continued to fall, tumbling head over heels. He felt a surge of despair. But then he remembered his mother's voice. He opened his eyes, focused, and flapped his wings again. Harder this time. He flapped and flapped with all his might. Slowly, miraculously, his descent began to slow. He wasn't falling anymore. He was fluttering. It was clumsy and awkward, but he was in the air, all by himself. A jolt of surprise and excitement shot through him. He tried again, pushing down with his wings, then lifting them up. He started to gain a little bit of height. He wobbled and dipped, but he didn't fall. He was flying. He let out a triumphant chirp that was nearly lost in the wind. He looked over and saw his mother and siblings flying alongside him, their calls full of encouragement. Soon, the storm passed, leaving behind a clean, rain-washed world. In the calm that followed, Pip discovered the pure joy of flight. He soared higher than he ever dreamed, above the tallest trees, feeling the sun on his feathers. The world looked so different from up there, so beautiful and vast. He wasn't the little bird who was too scared to fly anymore. From that day on, Pip became a source of inspiration. He never forgot the fear he had felt, and he used that memory to help other small, timid birds. He would sit with them, share his story, and gently encourage them. "The first flap is the hardest," he would say, "but the sky is worth it." He taught them that courage isn't about not being afraid. It's about being afraid and trying anyway. The birds of the forest started calling him the little bird that could. And the moral of our story: Today is a simple yet powerful one. Believe in yourself. It doesn't matter how small you feel or how big the challenge seems. With a little bit of courage and a lot of self-belief, even the smallest wings can learn to fly high and reach for the sky. That was the little bird that could. I hope this story brought a little bit of warmth and inspiration to your day. If you enjoyed it and want to hear more uplifting English stories like this one, please show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel. We share new stories every week. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.